Quiz assignments are integrated into Google Classroom as a form of an assignment. It's basically just taking a Google form and putting it in an assignment for you. But there are various things that you can do with Google Forms that go beyond just multiple choice questions and yes or no's. So let's take a look at how this might work. Okay, so here I am in my classroom. I'm going to go to Classwork and create. And so I'm going to create a quiz assignment. And basically what this does is it automatically creates a blank quiz for you. So I'll just add a title and just keep it with my theme. Google Accounts will be my quiz. Quiz attached. All right. So there is something that's important here. There is this importing of grades. Now you can import them, but then it only limits the person to answering one form. Now I don't want that because I want students to be able to resubmit the form as many times as they need to have the correct answers. All right, so let's go into our quiz. And so it's a blank quiz. And so first of all, it needs a name. So let's give it a name. Google Accounts. Now it's in a short description. Is complete. Complete. All right, now we're ready to add our questions. Right, so the first question we're going to add is right here, and we're going to make it a multiple choice. So my first question is going to be around where you sign up for, or where you sign into your Delta Learn's Google account. And so I'm going to give them some options here. And so they're going to be multiple choice. All right. And then I'm going to create an answer key. And so the correct response is this one. And I'm also going to add some feedback because what I want students to do is after they submit it, if they get something wrong, I want them to go back and correct their answer. And they might need a hint, they might need a clue. So for an incorrect answer, I'm going to add a link. And it's going to be a link to a document that they can, or a site that they can look at to get some information. So here's a site. Oops. And I'm going to just place that there. You can put some text, you can put some up here. So please review the site, and this is actually our help site. So we'll just put that there. And the important part here is that you add it. And then for correct answers, I'm just going to say well done. And then save it. All right, so here we can see that that part's done. Okay, once I'm happy with that, I can say done. Now, the other important part is here in settings. So I'm going to go to the quiz, and what I want to turn off is this, correct answers, because what will happen is when the student submits it and goes and reviews what they've done, it'll show them what the correct answer is. Well, I don't want to make it that easy for them, so I'm going to turn that off. But it will provide them with, if they've missed a question, it'll remind them of that, if there are point values involved. All right, and the other thing I did also have here under the general is that it's going to be restricted here. We could also collect email addresses if we want, so that all that's there, or we can just add name onto it. All right, so I'm just going to save all that, and now we're ready. Okay, now that we've begun the form and added our first question, let's take a look at what the student's experience might be like. So here's the preview. Let's check preview, AI. And so in this case, the student's going to say, I think it's here. So they're going to submit it. They're going to view their score, and they're going to see, oh my goodness, I got it wrong. But here's some feedback. Please review this site. So we'll click on the site, review the information. Once they've done that, they can close that. And close this one, go back and submit another response. So now I'm going to submit another response, and I think it's google.ca. That's where I'm supposed to go. So this time we're going to submit, view score, and there we go. Well done. I got it right. And so the student realizes that they corrected it. So this gives them the opportunity to go out, check what they did wrong, but come back and find the answer, provide the right or the correct answer in the end. All right, now let's add a second question, but this time we're going to use something called response validation. And it kind of works something like a breakout where the answer has to be exact, and if it's exact, it allows the student to move on, and it shows them that they've correctly answered the question. So let's add that. So in this case, I'm going to ask the following question: what is the district's G Suite domain? And this time I'm going to use a short answer. And I am going to click down here and use response validation. I'm not going to use a number, I'm going to use text in this case. And it's going to contain the text. So it's going to have to be exactly that. So here I could put a sort of a hint, so if they get it wrong. So I'll say, thorough and check the help site. How's that? There we go. Okay, the last thing that I'll do here is once again include the answer key. So I'll use that exact same answer, that exact answer that they have to have, place it in here, and everything else will be incorrect. All right, so now let's try this one more time to see what the student would see. So let's go up to the preview. And let's get this one correct this time, and then the student will come here. So perhaps they'll, think, yeah, it's at Delta Learns. And when they submit it, it'll go red because the answer is incorrect. And it says, be thorough, check the help site. They may go back, check that help site, find the information they need, and they discover that the CA is missing. As they add that, the red disappears, and it's now correct. So that when they submit it, they view their score, they can see that they have the correct answer for the first one and the correct answer for the second one. Now that I've given the students the assignment and they've completed it and handed it in, I can now sort of see what their results are like. So I'm going to just go to my assignment. So here I am in my Google Classroom, view the assignment. And here it is, there's my quiz. Now it's going to open up as the quiz in terms of having to complete it rather than what you created. So down on the bottom left you should see a little pencil, which means edit, and it brings you back to your form. And here you can see the responses. So I've been playing around with this one, so there's been 13 responses, and when I click on the responses I can view it in a variety of different ways. So here it gives me some graphical sort of analysis of student results. I can look at individuals and toggle through them. Now I didn't place names on these ones, so the students' names aren't showing up, but the students' names would show up if you had asked for that, so that you could see each of their individual results, and I can just toggle through and see how each student did. And then I could also turn off the accepting responses if I don't want any more students to complete it. And then the last thing I can do is I can also receive all of their responses and their work in a spreadsheet by just clicking on this. So that's how you can get the results and see how your students have done on a quiz assignment in Google Classroom.